This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, along with Piper here. She's going to help me do my daily news update. We are seeing the first chink in the armor of the WWE and Fox relationship with WWE's Backstage show, which starred CM Punk, being cut. Now, since Punk was under contract with Fox rather than WWE, although WWE did have to give their approval for Fox to sign him, doesn't necessarily mean we will see Punk in WWE anytime soon. But that just goes to show you that Fox can cancel WWE-related content that isn't performing well. And we do know, I've reported on this many times, SmackDown has only been getting half the rating they were expecting out of WWE. They're averaging a 0.5 for quite a while now, which is half of the 1 rating they were expecting out of WWE. And Raw on the USA Network has had ratings in the 4s. That may have been one of the reasons, or the 0.4s, that may have been one of the reasons Paul Heyman was released from his creative role on Raw. Now it's Bruce Pritchard handling head of creative for both Raw and SmackDown. Heyman could have been the scapegoat for Raw getting low ratings. In other news, it appears Joey Ryan is done with Impact Wrestling, according to the Wrestling Observer and other reports. There is a long list of allegations against Joey Ryan. I can't even begin to say them all, but the more serious ones are rape. The less serious ones are him making girls feel uncomfortable. So good riddance to him. He was terrible for the wrestling business. Impact, it's a shit company, I'll tell you that right now. They put Ken Shamrock, a legitimate UFC Hall of Famer, in an angle with Joey Ryan and had Shamrock take that stupid dick flip move. Horrible booking over there in Impact. At one point earlier this year, one of the Impact executives also had some sexual harassment allegations against him, but nothing ended up coming of that to my knowledge. There's also allegations against Michael Elgin and David Christ. I don't know who he is, but he works for Impact. No news on what's going on with Christ or Michael Elgin yet, although it's believed that this David Christ, or whatever the hell his name is going to be gone. There's not going to be any episode of Being the Elite this week. Of course, that is produced by the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, all those AEW executives that were good buddies with Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan was featured in a lot of those Being the Elite episodes. But apparently all of the shows that featured Joey Ryan are going to be removed. It's funny that anyone that said anything against Joey Ryan in the past was labeled, quote, homophobic, but it turns out that he really is a dirtbag. So I love it that everyone's changing their story on Joey Ryan now, but those of us that thought he was a scumbag all along, at one point in time, we were labeled homophobic. According to AEW, their mission statement for their company is they want to create a world of understanding and respect for humankind. That's the reason that they've suspended Sammy Guevara for saying in an interview he wanted to rape Sasha Banks. Little conflicting, though, because about 3 weeks ago, they did an angle with convicted rapist and Tier 2 sex offender Mike Tyson and Chris Jericho, who is Sammy Guevara's tag team partner. So I guess it doesn't matter if you're a real rapist. As long as you're famous, it's fine. Tony Khan I'll take a picture smiling with you and everything. But if you haven't actually raped anyone and have just alluded to rape as some kind of distasteful joke, and I don't agree with what Guevara said. I just find it contradicting that Tony Khan will praise Mike Tyson, who actually raped somebody. But Sammy Guevara, oh boy, he said he was going to rape someone. Let's suspend him. Meekin-headed freak tipped me $3. Thank you very much. In relation to former NWA executive David Lagana, who also has some disturbing sexual-related charges against him, that not official charges, but allegations against him. Some other stuff has come out about Lagana, who once worked with WWE. Apparently, Paul London and Brian Kendrick have stated in interviews that Kevin Thorne, if you guys remember him, he was also known as Mordicai in WWE. Apparently, David Lagana propositioned Thorne and asked Kevin Thorne to give him a blowjob. And according to Kendrick and London, the main reason Lagana was fired from WWE is because Thorne complained to The Undertaker about Lagana wanting the blowjob, and Undertaker went to Vince and got Lagana fired, according to that report. Of course, Lagana has resigned from the NWA. He was known for those tasteless comedy segments NWA was doing, like with the kayfabe cocktail, making fun of the fact that people like the Rockers allegedly used to H-bomb girls' drinks and so forth. According to reports, many wrestlers from the old days did it, not just the Rockers. And it was a big, funny thing. Dynamite Kid used to do it, not just to girls. Dynamite did it to Outback Jack. And there was a lot of that going on in the 80s and 90s. According to the Wrestling Observer, the Florida Surgeon General has recommended that everyone in the state wear masks when outside of their homes unless eating or exercising due to the recent big outbreak of COVID-19 there. I guess AEW and WWE are the exception to that rule again because they're owned by multi-billionaires. I'll get into a couple of your questions. Malaface says, I guess CM Punk changed the culture. Yeah. CM Punk was a vast disappointment. As we can see, Backstage was canceled. Networks don't cancel shows if they're performing well. Ethan Wilkins says the Will Ospreay allegation was legit. I don't know much about Will Ospreay, but I have heard he's part of the long list of wrestlers that are being accused of sexual assault and sexual harassment lately. Sean Monahan says Joey Ryan sucks. He was awful. I agree. He was awful, and he was awful for the business. People look at the crap that he did, and it just makes wrestling look stupid, the crap that he did. Yes, some people, when flipping through their Twitter feed or whatever, would see him grabbing someone's dick or someone else grabbing his dick, or 10 people on each side all grabbing each other's dick in this bizarre stuff he would do. And they would watch it, but then be like, my God, wrestling's stupid. They don't watch that and be like, oh my God, where can I see more of this? This is awesome. Colonel Quayle says WWE has grids. Not sure what that means. The Centennial says Dolph Ziggler is now in the title picture in WWE. Al Hirschkin says, with all the sexual harassment going around, why isn't there one against Sonny? Well, Sonny's not in a wrestling company anymore. But yeah, there was more weird stuff going on in the past in wrestling. All this is coming out today because of social media, and I don't approve of any of this. Don't get me wrong. I definitely don't approve of sexual harassment. Shad Thomas says, why do I want to watch a backstage show where they don't talk about things that go on backstage? No, they don't. They never addressed any of the shoot stuff. So there was nothing backstage about the backstage show. Larry Robinson asked, why are they canceling backstage? Obviously, wasn't performing well in the ratings. Richard Min says Ken Shamrock should have feuded with RVD and Impact. He should have, but those bookers suck. Don Callis, his history of booking is he had a company called No Holds Barred Wrestling in Winnipeg that lasted about a year before going out of business. But he's buddies with Scott D'Amore and Chris Jericho, who hooked him up with that booking of Impact, which, by the way, the last viewership Impact released, I've said it before, was 2,600 viewers for their Impact show. I have no idea what they're getting now. It can't be good. I can only imagine if it was good, they'd release what their ratings are. GG79 says Demolition and the Powers of Pain belong in the Hall of Fame. I am interviewing the Warlord later this week. I did do an interview with Jimmy Corderas, the WWE referee, today. It will be on Patreon. I'll put it on there in full at patreon.com/the Hannibal TV as soon as I'm done this update. Joe Biscaglia says Jake Christ, or whatever the hell his name is, Dave Christ, allegedly beat his ex-girlfriend. That's the Impact guy. Rio Cali says still bad, though, I guess talking about everything that's going on. Sam Lentz says AEW should try to make watchable content before trying to save the world. And I really found this comment of theirs, AEW wants to create a world of understanding and respect for humankind. This is pro wrestling. It's not supposed to be about understanding and respect. Yes, for the people that do the sexual harassment, sexual abuse, take care of them. But your mission statement, as this guy says, should be about putting on entertaining content. That's why their ratings are in the 0.2s, because they are not entertaining. Their content sucks. In my opinion, it fucking sucks. Josh CT says, I saw Joey Ryan in TNA many years ago. After that, I started to skip watching the show. The guy is a joke, and obviously he turned away at least one fan. Meekin-headed freak says, I'm not even going to say that. He's making a joke. As far as Jim Cornette, by the way, someone's asking about Jim Cornette. He's denying the allegations against him, which is basically that he was a cuckold. He's denying it. Alan Kesselman says the Road Warriors feud with the Powers of Pain was a great one. I agree. Even though Jim Ross didn't like it. Jim Ross, the last podcast I heard of Jim Ross, he was making fun of that feud, saying nobody cares about big guys wrestling, trying to defend the company that's paying him a huge contract now, AEW, saying that big wrestling is boring and so forth. Well, back in the days when wrestlers looked like men, which, by the way, Sasha Banks looks like she could kick Sammy Guevara's ass. He's just a little guy, like most of the AEW midgets. I would put my money on Sasha Banks in a feud. But yeah, I disagree with Jim Ross. I'd rather watch the Road Warriors versus Powers of Pain than any of the shit I've seen in AEW. And by the way, remember when everyone was defending when Tony Khan gave the stunner to Shawn Spears? Remember that? Where has Shawn Spears' career gone since then? Down the toilet. Great job, Tony Khan, living out your fantasies, doing stunners on your wrestlers, trying to be cool. You are a geek, sir. You might be the son of a billionaire. I don't fucking care. Your show sucks. You suck. You are a loser, in my opinion.